I can start now. Hi, welcome to today's Sticky Notes. Today we'll be talking about whether passwordless logins are the future. Let's get started. Sometimes passwords can leave you more confused than secure. At least it seems to be the case, as suggested by a survey of over 2,000 people commissioned by LastPass in 2021. According to the survey, 57% of people forget their passwords immediately after making them. 65% feel the need to make their password something easy to remember so they won't forget it. These aren't great for user experience or security. So we can say that forgetting a password is a user's pain point that you may want to consider addressing. But first, a brief history. Passwords have been around since the early 1960s. They started off quite simple and were used mostly for hardware, either for a computer, hard drive, or other storage device that required protection. Things started getting complicated when the internet became available to the general public. Suddenly, we all got emails, websites, web portals, chat rooms, forums, and so on. And we all had to create usernames and passwords for them all. So we did what most human brains do. We simplified the problem by using one password for all the places. And so began the never-ending race between law-abiding citizen and opportunists, leading everybody down a collective rabbit hole of security patches and ever-increasingly complex password maintenance. Research has shown that our relationship with passwords can be broken down into three parts: time, fear, and comfort. This research has shown that people are open to passwordless logins over traditional password-based authentication because it's faster. Fear of forgetting one's password and the subsequent deluge of trying to reset across multiple devices leads to discomfort, and comfort is a difficult factor to change. The more comfortable someone is, the less likely they are to adapt willingly to change. And generally speaking, humans are creatures of habit. The real problem lies with password setting protocols that oblige users to include special characters, numerals, or upper and lowercase characters. Though these requirements are great at strengthening the security of your account, it makes remembering them super hard, which leads people to have to reset passwords frequently. A solution for this cumbersome task is to transition to passwordless logins, which will probably have experience through the likes of Google or social media and using biometrics such as fingerprints, iris scans, or phone unlock patterns. Passwordless logins are forecasted to overtake passwords as the primary login form within 6 years, supposedly. But probably won't happen everywhere in 6 years, so the rapid adoption is a clear indicator that passwordless logins are gaining popularity among the masses. This method can improve user experience, but there are pros and cons. First, we'll start with the pros. Some users may abandon your website because they must log in, but they don't remember their password. Not everyone uses password managers due to fear and lack of trust, as mentioned earlier. Resetting passwords adds another barrier, one that people generally detest. But accounts need to remain secure, so passwordless authentication provides users with a convenient, stress-free experience most of the time. All they need to do is input an email or phone number or use an authentication app to receive a one-time code, biometric, or magic link. All of these make the login experience quicker and more convenient. As a website owner, you don't need to worry about password theft or data breaches resulting from password compromise because passwords are no longer part of the equation. For public-facing websites, OTPs and magic links provide greater security than most traditional passwords. Although passwordless authentication is not foolproof, it's often more secure than traditional password-based authentication methods. Passwordless logins help to protect websites from becoming victims of brute force attacks and brute force attacks via botnets, which can be very damaging and impact millions of users. It also protects against password spraying, where attackers apply the most commonly used passwords across multiple user IDs until one fits. So passwordless logins actually strengthen your company's cybersecurity posture. But again, this method is not perfect. If you've used passwordless authentication, you may have experienced some of its problems, which can include: if someone steals your mobile device or you lose it, that can be game over in terms of the security of your accounts. An attacker can use it to intercept all codes and magic links that are generated on the apps or sent via text message. In password-based authentication, attackers can't log into the apps unless they know the password. So in that regard, passwordless authentication is riskier than traditional password-based authentication in the event of device theft or loss. Unfortunately, criminals often are one step ahead of the game, especially with technology. Hackers can deceive passwordless security technology by showing images or videos of the original user, using machine learning to create morphed images of the intended target, or using the sound from audio recordings or videos for voice cloning. And there are even ways to bypass fingerprint locks. And it sounds scary, but these instances are low right now and not something most people need to worry about, but it's still wise to be aware of them. As you can imagine, passwordless logins make the authentication process easier and convenient, but they're also less familiar than traditional based password security, which can be scary, as stated earlier, about the fear and comfort. And since some passwordless authentication requires users to supply a new PIN every time they use it, some people can find it kind of annoying. But overall, the benefits for users is pretty clear, and passwordless is likely to be the future. As I've explained, passwords can be easily forgotten, requiring users to go through the hassle of resetting them. Additionally, it is often the case that the more secure a password is, the more frustrating it is for it to be manually entered and remembered. And these sources of friction often result in poor UX. Opting for passwordless authentication can improve the UX by removing the friction commonly associated with password-based authentication. This method also eliminates the need to create, manage, and remember or reset passwords. Users can instead enjoy a more seamless experience using convenient login methods, enhancing the UX and security, generally speaking. There has been a surge in a middle ground approach between password-based authentication and passwordless authentication, again, echoing the relationship needs we have with passwords at time, fear, and comfort. This middle ground approach simply masks passwords with a passwordless option, such as using your fingerprint to unlock the password. Though this option does maintain the vulnerability to password-based attacks, it offers people the improved UX associated with true passwordless authentication. This is representative of the steady transition companies are taking to a passwordless future, which signals the ever-increasing importance of updating password authentication protocols. The use of passwordless logins is likely the future of developing safe and user-friendly experiences for many people. The goal is a seamless and secure experience that works across lots of different channels to keep people safe while improving their time online. So that's all I got.
Cool.
Thanks for attending today's Sticky Notes. The next one is 2 weeks from today, same time at 12:30, and Sammy will take you through active listening. Goodbye.